Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's been a minute. I've been busy. I'm moving, so got all my shit packed up, ready to go. So because I'm busy, I don't really have time to put a lot of effort into a video. So what requires less effort than a banlist prediction? So let's go ahead and check out what cards I think are going to get hit, what cards I think are going to come off, or I guess more so hope come off, but yeah, we'll see. So overall, I really think this is going to be a minimal ban list coming up. We're going to have this ban list, and then we're going to have Worlds, and maybe after Worlds there might be something bigger. But this format is just so diverse that I don't see Konami feeling the need to hit anything in particular besides maybe like one or two problem cards. So yeah, I really don't expect a big ban list whatsoever. I know that's boring, but let's talk about what I think is going to go down. And what I think is going to come back maybe because of new products. So, yeah, let's check it out. Card number 1, getting banned, I think is going to be Diablosis, the Mind Hacker. So, why is this going to get banned? Because it allows for the 5-zone lock. It forces people to change their extra deck building a little bit too much. It shows a little bit too much info by, having your opponent being able to look at your extra deck turn 1 and know what you're playing, and then like banish 8 cards off the top of your deck. It's just a whole mess. This card needs to get out of here. It was a prize card to start, so I don't think Konami really had much intention of this being played in the meta. So I really don't see a problem with this card getting the boot from legal play. All right. The other card I think might get banned, and this is a question, honestly, I don't know, but I'm going to go with Branded Expulsion. So you may say, oh my gosh, they're going to ban Branded Expulsion when we have Albion the Incandescent Dragon coming out that does the same thing. Yeah, it does the same thing, but Albion is weak to any monster effect negates, whereas Expulsion is really only stopped by Ghost Bell, and only like sometimes. There's just not a lot of counterplay to trap cards. There's a lot of counterplay to monsters. So, if you have a Chalice or a Droplet or, Gamma, something like that, this card does nothing. If you make this, you're not going to be making Mirror Jade. So, yeah, it's a bigger cost to make Albion. So, I really think that Expulsion is a problem card because you can set up your board with Mirror Jade and also set up Expulsion, whereas if you set up this, you have to miss out on all of your monsters and other, interactions. So it's not as good as Expulsion for sure. I don't think they're going to hit Nightmare because if Nightmare's gone, okay, then you have Ra's Disciple. Okay, Ra's Disciple's not as good, yeah, but you have DD Orthros, which does the same thing. It just locks you into summoning Fiends, so unless you're playing a Fiend deck, you're kind of toast. Yeah, it's just, there's too many options. It's almost like the Helka Fibrax problem with all the tuners. Yeah, they did end up banning all the tuners, granted, but I don't know. I don't see them doing that again. We'll see what happens, but I really think Expulsion is the one card solution to the branded problem. Okay, and then the next cards I think are going to get hit. I think are going to go to 1. I don't know which one it is, but everyone knows this prediction from every other prediction video. It's either going to be Runick Tip or Runick Fountain. So I really only think they need to hit one of these to 1. If you hit Fountain, then, outing the Fountain pretty much wins you the game against Runick because they have no follow-up, really. And they have, no battle phase either to end the game quickly, so it will get into a grind, and they're not going to have any grind game. Whereas Tip is like a 2-for-1 for drawing with Fountain, but I don't know. I don't expect them to hit the consistency card. I think they're going to hit the power card to 1 instead. And plus, having 2 Fountain allows for the draw 4, draw 5 on turn 1. That's just kind of ridiculous. So I think Fountain is going to be the 1-to-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tip is the one. Okay, and then one more hit to cash. It's either Unicorn or Birth. They're both just so searchable. Obviously, Unicorn searches the Birth, but everything searches the Unicorn. So if you hit Unicorn to 1, you'll still get it off of Fenrir or Planet. Whereas if you hit the Birth, then you know, if you can out the birth, you're pretty much set to go. They lose a lot of follow-up. You don't have to worry about you know, them having a second one in hand, and yeah, they have to think about whether they want to commit the birth on the first turn or save it in hand for follow-up. So I think birth is the correct option here, but you know, we'll see. But between Runick and Kashtira, I think they're each going to have a card hit to 1. It's kind of up in the air on which one they choose. And really, to be honest, those are the only cards I think are going to get hit onto the ban list. I think there's going to be a couple that come off, but the meta is just so diverse and so, I think, well balanced right now that I don't think anything besides Expulsion, Diablosis, Fountain, and Birth are going to go anywhere onto the ban list. Like I said, we have Worlds format, Nationals format coming up. They're not going to shake up too much stuff. We still have Cyberstone Access coming out, so they're not going to like neuter Branded by hitting Branded Fusion right now, because they still need to sell that stuff. Plus Kashtira, all the lore is still happening. Runick is getting support, so I don't see them killing any of these decks really. Okay, now for a couple cards that I think might come off the list. Blaster. Blaster came off in OCG. I don't think it's doing a darn thing, so I think Blaster is going to be fine to come back to. They're going to start with 1, I assume. I think Harp Horror. I've been saying Harp Horror for like a year now, as is everyone else. With Bystials in the meta, Orcus is not going to be a very high contender, so I don't see a problem with chucking Harp Horror back to 1 at least. Restable Starling, they just put it back to 2. I think it can come back to 3. Trilyrlisk has not done anything since Starling has come back. And then the last card I think they could bump up to maybe 2 is Misk, just to support the new Dino cards that are coming out. It might not be this list, it might be the next list, but I can see Misk coming back. Either that or maybe even Pankratops, since now Kashtira Fenrir is pretty much a better version of Pank, so you know, debatable. Pank is better going second, but Fenrir you can play in the main deck because it's good first or second, so we'll see. But I do think that there's some allowance for some Dino support on the ban list. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. 4 hits, 4 unlimits. We'll see what happens. You know, who knows? But we'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm back to moving, so I'll see you later.